Today's lesson is Jensen Huang, the tech titan from Taiwan. Hello, everyone. I'm Mike.
I'm Roger, and today we're going to continue talking about Jensen Huang. And that's a special subject for me because he has done so much for Taiwan's image in the world of technology. He's running this company that has produced the major hardware responsible for AI, artificial intelligence.
That's right. But not only Jensen Huang, it seems that tech genius runs in the family. His cousin, Lisa Su, is the CEO or the head of AMD. That's another big chip manufacturer, chip-making company in the world of computers. So it seems, as the article said yesterday, that intelligence and skill at tech and the tech business, it runs in the family. It's something that they all seem to share. So let's go on to today's article. We're going to be learning more about Jensen Huang and especially the birth and growth of his company that he still runs today, NVIDIA. Let's check out the article.
NVIDIA struggled in its early years, nearly going broke in 1997, as Huang and his employees raced to finish the development of the Riva 128 chip. Indeed, NVIDIA probably would have gone belly up without the help of another Taiwanese tech giant, TSMC. While working on the chip, Huang wrote a letter to TSMC's founder, Morris Chang, asking him to cooperate on the chip's design and cover some of its production costs. TSMC's assistance enabled NVIDIA to achieve its first commercial success, and now, nearly 3 decades later, their partnership is still going strong.
大家好，第一部分介绍动词 cooperate， 它的意思是合作或是配合。例如 Despite their differences, Angela and Rosie agreed to cooperate with each other. 虽然 Angela 和 Rosie 不合，但他们同意相互合作。或者 We need to cooperate if we want to finish this project on time. 如果我们想如期完成这项计划，就必须合作。接着看到名词 assistance， 表示协助或是援助。例如 Kelly's assistance made it possible for me to overcome the challenges. Kelly 的协助使我得以克服挑战。或是 I could really use your assistance on this project. 这个专案我真的需要你的援助。再来看到名词 partnership， 它的意思是伙伴关系或是合作关系。例如 The two businessmen formed a partnership hoping to make a lot of money in the future. 这两个商人合伙成立了一家公司，希望将来能赚大钱。也可以说 Ed and Anne have maintained a successful musical partnership for many years. Ed 和 Anne 多年来一直维持成功的音乐合伙关系。
Okay, let's take a look at the first paragraph in today's lesson. It says, NVIDIA struggled in its early years, nearly going broke in 1997, as Huang and his employees raced to finish the development of the Riva 128 chip. So lots of companies, of course, have difficulty in the beginning. Some companies are quite successful in the beginning, but lots of companies struggle, and that's what happened to NVIDIA. It struggled. It wasn't making a lot of money at the beginning, and it seemed like maybe it's going to continue, maybe it's not. We just don't know. And it actually nearly went broke in 1997. So here the verb phrase is to go broke, which means you basically lose all your money and you have to borrow money from your relatives, or you need to declare bankruptcy or whatever. So it nearly went broke in 1997. Go broke is the present tense and went broke is the past tense, and that happened in 1997 as Huang and his employees raced to finish this Riva 128 chip. So they were working really hard to produce this chip. It does imply that once they were able to develop this chip, they did not go broke.
They did not go broke. Exactly right. And often in the world of tech, when you're developing really new and advanced chips or other types of technology, it takes a lot of research and development, costing a lot of money, and you haven't actually sold anything yet. So that could have been part of the problem. They were sort of pushing the technology beyond what was normal at the time, and so it ended up being a lot more expensive to make and to develop than they had predicted. And it says, indeed, NVIDIA probably would have gone belly up without the help of another another Taiwanese tech giant, TSMC. So here we're getting more details about how they almost went broke or went bankrupt, ran out of money at that time developing this chip. They would have gone belly up without the help of another Taiwanese tech giant. To go belly up is basically to die. To go belly up is to sort of die or pass away. I think this probably goes back to fish. When fish die, they often float on their back and the belly sticks up out of the surface of the water. We could use this for people, but we often use it for organizations or businesses or something like that. My cousin's coffee shop went belly up last year. He worked at it for 2 years but could never make a profit. That kind of idea. So the business obviously doesn't die in a physical sense, but it does go out of business. It closes. It goes bankrupt. It stops operating. So they would have closed. NVIDIA would have shut down as a company without the help of another Taiwanese tech giant, TSMC, another name, of course, we all know from the news, and this is the big Hsinchu-based computer chip manufacturer. So how did TSMC help out NVIDIA?
Yeah, TSMC came to the rescue, so while working on the chip, Huang wrote a letter to TSMC's founder, Morris Zhang, asking him to cooperate on the chip's design and cover some of its production costs. So here, of course, he was putting down his pride. Here he was swallowing his pride and realized that maybe he needs some help. So he wrote a letter to Morris Zhang. The rest is history. They cooperated on this. And here we have the word cooperate, which means to work together on something. You're no longer competing against each other.
And this was done while working on the chip, while developing the chip, while researching the chip. He was going to get TSMC's help on the design, on paying for the design, and also paying or covering some of the production costs. When we use cover in this sense, in a financial sense, we're kind of saying, I will take care of it. I will pay for you. I don't have enough money for a movie ticket. Oh, don't worry. I'll cover you. I'll pay for you. I'm not maybe going to ask for the money back. I'm just saying I will take care of the financial side of this little issue. And it says TSMC's assistance enabled NVIDIA to achieve its first commercial success. And now, nearly 3 decades later, their partnership is still going strong. Well, that's kind of a nice story from the world of business, which, as we read yesterday, can be very competitive. Everyone's trying to beat the other guy. But in this case, 2 companies came together and did much better than they would have done on their own. And of course, it did require, though, at the beginning, some help or assistance from TSMC. This assistance was given to Jensen Huang and NVIDIA. So yeah, when we say assistance, we're just saying help. I have a problem. You can help me find the solution or help me take care of it. I need your help. I need your assistance. So it enabled NVIDIA to achieve its first commercial success. So that Riva 128 chip, this is a little factoid you can remember for those trivia fans, was the first big successful NVIDIA chip, their first commercial success. And now nearly 3 decades or 30 years later, their partnership is still going strong, a partnership born out of adversity that led to great success.
Partnership, of course, means they're working together, they are cooperating, and they continue to work together quite strongly. Okay, let's move on now to the second part of our lesson. We will listen to it first.
From NVIDIA's difficult early years, Huang learned a valuable lesson about persistence, resilience, and how even failures can ultimately help pave the way to success. Reflecting on his own experiences, he has encouraged young people by saying, "Failure is not the end. It's an opportunity to learn and grow."
第二部分介绍名词 persistence， 表示坚持不懈，也可以是持续存在的意思。我们可以说 It takes a lot of persistence to finish writing a novel. 写完一本小说需要很大的毅力。又或者说 Keep on studying English, for your persistence will pay off in the end. 继续学习英语，因为你的坚持最终会得到回报。继续看到名词 resilience， 它的意思是韧性或是恢复力。例如 Some feel that young people nowadays lack resilience and have a quickness to take offense. 有些人觉得现今的年轻人缺乏韧性，又易受冒犯。又或者说 Although the earthquake caused great damage, the survivors showed amazing resilience. 虽然那起地震造成了巨大的破坏，但幸存者表现出了惊人的韧性。
All right, let's get back to our article. When we just left off there, TSMC had basically saved NVIDIA, pulled its fat from the fryer, or got it out of a difficult situation by helping NVIDIA to develop its first chip, a chip that went on to be very successful, and this led to a strong and long-lasting partnership between NVIDIA and Taiwan's own TSMC. So let's see what happened after that first initial success. It says, from NVIDIA's difficult early years, Huang learned a valuable lesson about persistence, resilience, and how even failures can ultimately help pave the way to success. This is a very good bit of advice that we often hear from people who have achieved great things. They failed many times along the way. Often when I see this advice being shared out, I think of Michael Jordan said that he missed twice as many basketball shots as he actually got. So you have to try a lot, fail a lot, but learn from your failures and then move on to do better things and be more successful in the future. And that is all about persistence and resilience, two good words for people looking to achieve success, even though it may be a long and hard road. Persistence is basically not giving up, not quitting. You're going to stick to it, even in the face of failure and trouble and adversity and frustration. You're not going to say, forget it, I quit, I'm going home. No, you're just going to redouble your efforts, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and start all over again, is this idea. And along with that is resilience, basically being tough, being able to take the blows, take the failures, not having it lead to your quitting or your losing heart, losing hope, or something like that. If you're very resilient, even if life throws you a lot of difficult challenges, a lot of troubles that might lead to other people to quit, you won't. You're going to carry on with it. So that's how failures can ultimately help pave the way to success.
Indeed. So again, persistence refers to not giving up, and resilience refers to being able to return to your original condition, even though you've been attacked and things like that. I should say that persistent is the adjective form. You need to be persistent to succeed, and you need to be resilient to succeed as well. And here, of course, having this mental approach to this problem, being persistent and resilient, well, this paved the way to success for Jensen Huang here. So to pave the way just means to make something possible in the future. And usually we use this for talking about something positive, to pave the way for success. Working on your grammar in English will pave the way for fluency in the future.
Reflecting on his own experiences, he has encouraged young people by saying failure is not the end, it's an opportunity to learn and grow. That's a very good way of expressing this idea that persistence and resilience are necessary. Failures will happen, but you can't let it get you down, and you can actually make it. Use those failures to help you become better in the end. So this is when he was reflecting on his own experiences. If we're kind of talking about our past and the lessons that we've learned and things like that, that is a way of reflecting, all right? If someone's going to share their reflections of their youth with you, they're sharing their memories, but also along with that, some of the things that they learned along the way. Maybe not at that time, but maybe as we look back on those times. In the same way that light kind of bounces off a mirror, it reflects off that mirror, our experiences can kind of bounce off us as time passes, and we can look at things in different ways. That time it was the worst thing that ever happened to me when my first business closed and I lost all that money. But on reflection, looking at it from my position now in the future, having become a different person and having learned from that, I can see that that failure was actually a very good learning experience. You might not know it at the time and think it at the time, but later on things change, things come into focus. You look at things in different ways as you get older and wiser. So looking back at his failures and his challenges and the difficulties of his past, he has encouraged young people by saying failure is not the end. Failure is not the worst thing that can happen and the end of your dreams. It's an opportunity to learn and grow. It might be a setback, it might be a bump in the road, maybe even a big bump in the road, but it doesn't have to be the end. Persistence, resilience, and just sticking to it is a very good way to achieve success in the end. All right, let's take a break here, and then we'll have the final part of the article.
Jensen Huang's journey from young engineer to tech magnate serves as a powerful example of how perseverance and passion can lead to extraordinary success. By embracing challenges and viewing failures as opportunities, he has shown that anything is possible for those who never stop striving.
第三部分看到形容词 extraordinary， 它表示非凡的，也可以是奇特的或是令人惊奇的。我们可以说 The city went through some extraordinary changes during the mayor's first term. 那座城市在该市长的第一任期内经历了一些不凡的改变。也可以说 The detective's extraordinary deductive skills help him in his work. 这位探员惊人的推理能力对他办案有帮助。最后看到动词 strive， 指的是努力或是奋斗。举例来说 If elected as mayor, Paul promises he will strive to renovate the town center. Paul 承诺如果选上市长将会致力于翻修市中心。又或者说 The teacher urged his students to strive to excel in the class. 老师鼓励学生努力在班上有优异的表现。
All right, let's finish things up now with the third paragraph. It says, Jensen Huang's journey from young engineer to tech magnate serves as a powerful example of how perseverance and passion can lead to extraordinary success. So here we're calling him a magnate, which is the same as a titan. He's a tech magnate or a tech titan. And this serves as an example. It gives us an example. It shows us that if you have perseverance and if you have passion, then that can lead to success. And we're describing that success as being extraordinary, which means beyond the ordinary. It's something you don't see every day. And again, we did talk about words that are similar to perseverance. That just means not giving up. You just keep going despite all the adversity, despite all the problems.
Exactly. Very similar to the word persistence, which we saw in the paragraph just before. Not only sticking to it, but being able to kind of get around the obstacles, get around the problems. If you persevere, you're kind of finding ways to move past problems and obstacles and things like that. And you're also, of course, like being persistent, not giving up. You're sticking to it. So if you have that perseverance, that willingness to keep trying, even if you're feeling frustrated and even if you've failed, and you have passion, you have a great love of what you're doing. It's part of who you are. It brings you joy. It's part of your character just to do this kind of thing, whether it was for a business or even as a hobby. You're still going to do it because you really enjoy it. It brings a lot of meaning and joy to your life. And if you do that, if you have those qualities and characteristics, this can lead to amazing, incredible, or extraordinary success. Something that is beyond ordinary or extraordinary is generally something that is wonderful, good, definitely desirable. If you have an extraordinary time on your holiday, it's probably one of the most memorable trips of your life, and that is a wonderful thing. By embracing challenges and viewing failures as opportunities, he has shown that anything is possible for those who never stop striving. So you have to embrace the challenges, embrace the things that you will learn, both good and bad. When you embrace something, well, I mean, if you're embracing a person, you're kind of hugging that person. You're holding them close to you. And in the same kind of way, here, you're holding these challenges close to you. You're not running away from them, right? If you're embracing a person, clearly you like that person and you want to be near them. You're not pushing them away or moving away from them. You're moving towards them. You're holding them close to you. So hold the challenges close to you. Don't run from the challenges. Take on the challenges. Enjoy the challenges, whether you're successful or not. That's not the important thing. The important thing is to keep trying and to view your failures. Try to look at your failures as opportunities. So if you view something as something, you're looking at it in a certain kind of way. All right. So if I view a challenge as a chance to learn or something like that, you can also think of it that way. Whereas other people might view failures as reasons to quit or something. So often with things in life, the way we look at it, our attitude towards it can really have a big effect on whether it will be ultimately a good or a bad experience. So he has shown that anything is possible for those who never stop trying. Striving, kind of like trying very, very hard.
And we admire all of you for striving forward with your English studies. Let's take a break now and listen to our beloved Chinese teacher.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。课文第一部分有提到辉达创业初期举步维艰，公司差点破产的情况。那这个段落有用到 go broke 以及 go belly up， 它们的意思相同，都是表达破产。那我们还可以用到 go bankrupt 来表达破产的意思。好，那这边也要顺便补充一下，用 go 加上形容词的用法。Go 当连缀动词，它带有变得、变成的语义。那么后面接了形容词来描述它的变化，像是 go bad 可以用来描述食物它变质啊、坏掉。go stale 可以描述食物面包它变得不新鲜。那也可以描述像婚姻啊、交往关系等等变得平淡无奇、了无新意。或者是可以用 go wrong 去表达事情出错、发生问题。还有像 go unnoticed 则是指未受到注意、被忽略等等。好，那我们读到课文第三部分最后一句，他写道 By embracing challenges and viewing failures as opportunities, he has shown that anything is possible for those who never stop striving. 透过接受挑战并将失败视为机会，他展示了对于那些永不停止努力的人来说，一切都有可能。好，这边有两个重点，我们来看第一个重点是 view A as B， 表示将 A 视为 B， 认为 A 是 B。 这个动词 view 也可以换成 see, regard, think of 等等。那么 as 的后面这个 B 的部分呢，我们可以用名词或者是形容词来表达，像是 She viewed the job as the opportunity of a lifetime. 他认为这个工作是千载难逢的好机会。好，那补充一下，被动句型的话，我们会用 A be viewed as B， 或者是 be seen as B， be regarded as B， 或者是 be thought of as B。 这时候是表达 A 被视为 B， A 被认为是 B。 那么同样的 as 后面我们可以接名词或形容词来描述。举例来说， This place is thought of as the best restaurant in the city. 这个地方被认为是城市里最棒的餐厅。好，那么第二个重点呢，我们看到文中用到 those who never stop striving 来表达那些永不停止努力的人。那么 those who 加动词是表达凡是怎么样的人，那些怎么样怎么样的人。那这时候 those 指的是 those people 那些人，我们后面用 who 引导关系子句来修饰这个先行词 those， 那就可以描述说是那些怎么样的人，凡是怎么样的人。只是要特别注意关系子句里面动词要用复数型，像我们可以说 those who are allergic to seafood， 就可以表达凡是对海鲜过敏的人。 Those who don't eat meat 就是表达那些不吃肉的人。好，那么以上今天重点整理，我们回顾今天单字吧。
Cooperate. We need everyone to cooperate in order to complete the task on time. Assistance. The program offers assistance to unemployed individuals. Partnership. A successful partnership requires trust and communication. Reflect. The marketing department reflected on the feedback they received. Extraordinary. Dr. Collins made an extraordinary discovery in the field of medicine. Embrace. After several discussions, they decided to embrace the new technology to improve efficiency. Strive. The athlete has been striving so hard to break the world record.
Discussion Starter starts now!
Okay, here's our discussion starter for today. The question is, how do Jensen Huang's early life experiences and challenges contribute to his view on failure and success in the tech industry?
Well, in considering Huang's perspective on failure, I think his experience with developing the Riva 128 chip strongly influences his belief that persistence can often lead to success. His ability to overcome obstacles, such as almost going bankrupt in developing that chip, demonstrates that even when things look terrible, even when it looks like there's no hope, you can still find hope. In his case, it led him to write to Morris Chang at TSMC, and that grew into a partnership that has lasted 30 years and done a lot of good for both men and both companies, which is a lesson that can be applied to a lot of things. Also, partnership is often a great thing.
Well, I think that Huang's ability to overcome obstacles, such as washing pans that had been used to bake lasagna or meatloaf and being able to wash those pans and get those stains out, is a lesson that can demonstrate that you can overcome those kinds of obstacles. If you can wash those dishes and make them nice and clean, you surely can make a big killing in the AI industry.
Well, that brings us to the end of another edition of our program, and please make sure you join us again next time. From all of us here, I am Mike.
I am Roger.
See you next time.